Is it okay to not want to date a man who has a child? Hello ladies, thanks for tuning in. Before we start, please like and subscribe, and don't forget that you can have free chapters of my femininity guide by checking the link in the description box. Okay, so today I want to answer this question: if it's okay for us women to not want to date a man who has a child. I got inspired. I was inspired by this topic because the other day I was on Instagram, and one of the girls that I follow, who also talks about femininity, answered someone in her stories, and I wanted to give my 2 cents. So one of her followers, I believe it was feminine goddess or something like that. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her Instagram handle, but I will put it in the description box once this video will go live. Okay, so yeah, someone asked her if it was okay to not want to date a man who had a child, and she answered that if the girl has a child herself, she can't have that kind of standards, and also if she wants to date older men, then she has more chances to meet men who have a child. And I want you to give my 2 cents on it, so that you can have another opinion and then decide for yourself what's okay or not to ask for when it comes to a relationship. So first of all, I'm a very spiritual person, and I remember when I started my spiritual journey, I remember asking someone in the law of attraction community if they thought that my standards were too high. And I really loved the answer that one of the girls gave me, and she told me, I don't know what having high standards mean in when it comes to spirituality, and it reassured me, because it means that you can ask for whatever you want, and there is no judgment when it comes to spirituality and attracting and manifesting. And when you ask yourself if your standards are too high, and you expect others to tell you if they are too high or not, then first of all, it means that you don't trust your ability to make the right choice, to make the right choice for you, and it also make us believe that you don't know what's good for you or not. Okay, so I want you to trust that your standards are correct, and if you have them, it's for a reason. So what I would suggest doing is exploring your standards. So let's say let's stick to not wanting a child, a man who has a child. So it could be for many reasons, and you have to ask yourself why you have that kind of standard. Maybe you have a child already. Okay, so what does it mean if you have a child? If you have a child and you don't want someone who has a child, does it make you a bad person? No, not at all. Because some men also don't want someone who has a child, and we can't force anyone who don't want us. If we have a kid and that person doesn't want kids, then that's okay, right? Because they are allowed to have the standards that they have, and we just need to choose the people who choose us. So maybe you don't want a child because you don't want to be you don't want to have to take care of a child that isn't yours, and maybe you have a child yourself, but you still don't want to date a man who has a child because you know that all his money will go to child support. This could be one of the reasons. Or maybe you have a child yourself but don't want to date a man who has a child because you don't want to take care of an extra child, and more importantly, that a child that isn't yours, because we all know that if you choose to date a man who has a child and you have a child yourself, first of all, you expect him to become the provider, right? You expect him to treat your kid as if it was his, as if it was his, right? Then he can have the same expectations when it comes to committing to you, because if he has a child and he loves his child, then he wants the best stepmother for his child, and he should expect you to be like the second mom of his child. And maybe you don't want to have that role. Maybe for you, one child is enough. Okay? And if you choose to date older men, that's true that you're gonna have more chances to meet men who have a child already, because around 40 or 50, many men are divorced and with kids. But maybe those men have kids that are adults now. So maybe he can have a child, but you won't even interact much with that child. Maybe this is something that you could consider as well. But at the end of the day, I want you to develop the habit of exploring your thoughts and understanding why you want this and why you don't want this, so that you can free yourself. Yeah, you can free yourself, and you can date confidently, and you can explain things to yourself without being afraid of judgment. I hope it helped. If you want to know how to keep the chase going on when you date, you want to spot red flags, don't forget that you can have free chapters of my femininity guide in the description box, and also you can join me on Patreon to watch my exclusive videos on femininity, where I teach you how to magnetize men, how to keep them chasing you forever. All the links are in the description box. I will see you there. Bye bye.